Ever feel like you're kind of stuck? Like comfy, but maybe a little too comfy?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, get ready, because today's deep dive, we're tackling that head on. We're diving into an excerpt all about building mental strength, and guess what? It's all about embracing the opposite of comfy discomfort.
Interesting.
Right, and it got me thinking, we all try to avoid uncomfortable stuff, don't we? Like, it's human nature. But what if that's exactly what's holding us back?
I see where you're going with this.
This excerpt, it basically frames discomfort as a workout, like a mental gym.
Ah, I like that analogy. It makes perfect sense if you think about it. Our minds are like muscles, right? The more you challenge them, the tougher they get. Same principle.
Totally. And you know what really hit me? It talks about actually confronting the things we usually run from, fears, awkward situations, all that.
It's not always easy though, is it?
Easier said than done, for sure. So, any advice on actually, doing that? Like, where do we even start?
Well, you don't need to climb Mount Everest on day one. Start small. Think about one little discomfort you can handle each day.
Okay, I like that. Small steps.
Exactly. Could be something as simple as talking to that person you always see but never actually say hi to, or finally trying that recipe you've been too intimidated to make.
Interesting. I've been meaning to try that new Indian place down the street, but
It's out of your comfort zone.
maybe a little. Spicy food isn't usually my go-to.
There you go. That's a perfect example. And here's another tip. Ditch the negative self-talk. Instead of, I can't, try, this might be tough, but I'll give it a shot.
It's all about the mindset, right?
100%. And hey, don't forget to celebrate those small wins along the way.
So true. It's like, you tried that new food, boom, win. You spoke up in a meeting when you usually stay quiet, another win.
Exactly. Those little victories add up. Now you're building that mental muscle.
It's funny you mentioned that. It reminded me of this time I completely bombed a presentation. Mortified, right? But instead of dwelling, I thought, okay, what did I learn? Changed my whole perspective.
Love that. You took control. That's that no excuses mentality this excerpt talks about.
Yeah.
Owning it, good or bad, that's how we grow.
Right. It's about progress, not perfection. And you know what else struck me? The excerpt mentions discomfort actually boosting creativity. What do you think?
Absolutely. When we're stuck in a rut, our brains go on autopilot. But thrown a challenge, our minds have to scramble, find new paths, and bam, creativity.
Love that visual, like shaking up a snow globe, everything's jumbled, then settles in a whole new way.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So to bring this back to our listeners, what's one thing someone could do this week? Just a little nudge out of that comfort zone.
Great question. I'm putting you on the spot here.
Well, it could be different for everyone, right? But a good starting point might be to engage in a debate about something they don't know much about. It's a safe space to explore new ideas, even if you're not an expert.
Ooh, I like that. Get those brain juices flowing. But not too far out of the comfort zone, right?
Right. We want that sweet spot. Enough to feel a little on edge, but not totally overwhelmed.
Makes sense. And hey, listeners, just remember, everyone feels that hesitation. It's pushing past it that counts.
Couldn't have said better myself.
So, after all this talk about discomfort, anything standing out to you right now?
Honestly, it's that creativity bit. It's encouraging. Even when things are tough, there's always a new solution, a new perspective just waiting to be found.
So true, and that ties into my favorite line from this whole excerpt. Remember, the mind is the most powerful tool you have. Think about that for a second.
Wow.
Right. We have the power to shape our lives, but it takes pushing past those mental barriers, those comfort zones. So listeners, what's one small step you can take today? Remember, even the tiniest action can snowball into something amazing. Until next time, embrace the discomfort, because that's where the magic happens.